Hey guys, Lethal Leslie here, and today we're going to be doing the best build for the AK-101 in Escape From Tarkov. Now there are a lot of AKs to get through if we are going to do the best build for most of the guns in the weapon, so we're going to start off with our first AK right at the top with the AK-101. So this is exactly what's on the gun right here in case you want to go and build it yourself and try and use this section a lot faster than if you have to go through the dismantle and seeing it part by part. But sometimes you may get stuck in a part, so we are going to dismantle the weapon now and build it up from scratch. We're going to start off with the pistol grip, and what we've gone for is the RK3 plus 13 aerodynamics. This is the best option when it comes to the pistol grip for the AK-101. So the price on this, if we filter by item, goes for around 8k, 8.7k there. And we forgot to do the AK itself. If we filter by item on the AK, it's a 36k gun, but you know, you can see you can get it as standard 36k, so that's not bad at all. So let's chuck that on there and move on to the next piece. And next up, we're going to go for the stock, which is a two-part. We'll use this and the stock itself. There we go. They're going to attach to each other, obviously. And this is obviously what makes the gun fold. It has no negative effect to the weapon at all. And it does allow you to add some different stocks than without it. You can't just add the stock to the weapon without this piece. If you filter by item, it goes for around 2 to 4k. Not bad at all, so we'll stick that on the weapon, and then we'll go to the stock next. Now this is actually one of the best stocks on the game, period. Minus 44 recoil, and with the AKs all having a lot of recoil on them, you are going to need a weapon that is good when it comes to recoil. Plus 8 aerodynamics as well. This, yeah, it's just a brilliant stock, and it's not that cheap either. Oh, actually, it's a lot better than what I thought. I thought it was around the 20k mark. It's actually around the 12 to 14k mark. So Zenit PT1 is what you're looking to get. And it's going to cost you 12 to 14k buzzing. So let's stick that on there now. One of the best stocks. And then, of course, you do have the ability to fold the weapon then if you want to. Next, we're going to stick on the dust cover here. This does have a nice positive effect on the weapon as well. +1 on accuracy, +7 on the aerodynamics. Obviously, you can put your scope on there as well. And as for price, this comes in at around 27,000. So that's very expensive, really. There are much cheaper dust covers you can get that do less benefit on the aerodynamics and things like that. But if you want to build the best one, you're going to have to pay 27,000. Or if you have it in stock with the skier, you can pay 10k less rubles at 17k, which would be pretty nice. So let's chuck that on. And next up, we're going to go ahead and attach the gas block. So this one does +14 on the aero and -3 on the recoil. You can also see it has plenty of places to mount loads of things on there. And as for the price, it's around 20,000, and I think that's really cheap. You can get some gas blocks on the game for certain weapons that cost a lot of money, like double that, like 40,000. So to see this at 20,000, I thought was pretty nice, considering it's the best one available for the AK-101 as well. Let's go and attach the muzzle brake next. We're going for the PWS. This isn't one of the best on the game. It's really steady with -10 on the recoil, plus 0.5 on the muzzle velocity, -1 on the aerodynamics. But unfortunately, it's the best one that can go on this weapon. So we're going to have to make do with this one. There are some better ones out there. But still, -10 on the recoil, I'll take that all day long. It costs around 10k as well. So it's really cheap, not bad. We'll chuck that on. And it's a nice addition to the weapon with a -10 recoil for a steady price as well. Moving on to the next item, we're going to add the RP1. Now again, this is just the +1 on the aerodynamics. A lot of weapons take this piece. And I don't know what it does, like, or where it goes, but it goes onto the weapon and makes it slightly better. And as for the price on this, if we filter by item, it goes for around 2.8k. So if you want that extra boost on aerodynamics, even though it's just a +1, you can go ahead and pick one of those up. Let's do the foregrip next, and we've got two pieces here for the foregrip. We're going to be starting off with the Troy Quaz 4.2-inch guide. And again, yeah, this attaches the foregrip, so you chuck that on and it'll go on the bottom there, you see. And the foregrip we've gone for this is the one with the most recoil. Now, it depends with what you want. If you want more ergo, you can get some with more ergo. You can get some with more recoil. That's the way these foregrips work. And we've gone for the one with more recoil on this occasion. And it has -5 on recoil, -2 on the ergo. So it does actually have a negative effect on the ergo. You can get some with 4.4. You can get some with 3.4, depending. Obviously, the price obviously varies, depending on which one you decide to get as well. And as for the price on this, it's not cheap. It's 32k. So personally, if I wasn't going for the highest end recoil on this particular weapon because it's an AK, I tend to use different ones. But you do need to control the bounce as much as possible with guns like AKs. So we've decided to go with the Zenit RK2. So let's check that on the weapon now and move on to the scope, I guess. We've got two scopes here, and I guess we'll do them all together. First off, we'll start off with the mount then. This is the side mount that we're going to be putting the PK on. This just adds a scope that you can switch to on the weapon, which is quite nice. And this comes in at around 7.5k, so it's really cheap, no problem there. Everyone can afford one of them. We'll chuck that on first, and then I guess we'll chuck the PK on next. I believe this is the only one you can actually stick onto the side mount, but I kind of like this sight anyway, so I have no problems with this being the only sight. It doesn't really give you much range when you're aiming, so it does have to be very close quarters, but it's always handy when you're using a monstrum or a scope that only has one magnification, because sometimes you can kind of lose the person as you scope in on a scope like a monstrum, so it's nice to have a PK as backup. And this comes in around 16,000, so I think that's a reasonable price as well. For any scope in the game, 16k is not bad at all. So we'll stick that on there now, and we'll move on to the monstrum next. This just does a ×2 magnification, one of my favourite scopes in the game. It's very clean and almost works at all distances. It's quite hard to shoot someone that's really far away and really close to you, but it deals well with everything else. It does have a -3 on the aerodynamics, but scopes tend to have a slight minus on the weapon, obviously because you're adding weight to it. So let's chuck the monstrum on now, and then what we have left is the magazine. Actually, I didn't check the price of the monstrum, so we'll go and do that real fast. It goes for around 25 to 30k. I say 25 to 30 because a lot of the times I do see it at 29. It seems like it's going actually quite cheap at the moment at 25. So that'd be nice if you could pick it up for that price, but it's a nice scope for that price, that's for sure. Now, last but not least, we have the magazine, and the magazine we've gone for is the Arsenal 30 round magazine, and what this does is -50 on check speed modifier. So that's basically when you check what ammo is in your weapon, or how much ammo is in your weapon. So it doesn't really have that much of a positive other than the check speed modifier, which I'm not that reliant on in game. I don't feel like that's a big plus to have it check the bullets in the gun 50% faster. But regardless, it is still the best magazine when it comes to this weapon. Now, it's not too cheap, but not too expensive either. If you fill it by item, you can see it comes in around 5k. I say it's not too cheap because you can get a lot of magazines that go for 2k for weapons like this. So you could buy 3 of them for the price of one of these. But I like the slight benefits, why not? And especially at like 5 to 6k, it's not a problem really. And then as for the bullets, which we forgot to mention, is the M995, which is nice. You don't have to put the BS in these. Although the BS are cheaper, you can put M995 in the AK-101. You can't put BS in it anyway, so you've got to put something that is 5.56 times 45. And this M995 is the best bullet you can get in this category. It's absolutely fantastic. It's my favourite or joint favourite bullet on the game with the M61, but that won't fit in this either. So definitely a great bullet and very expensive as well if we fill it by item. It's going to cost you 1,389 per bullet. So make sure you're hitting your shot. It's very expensive ammo, that's for sure. Let's go ahead and put this in the gun anyway, and that is our AK complete. And this is what it looks like. We have 68 on the ergonomics, which is about average. It's not great, but it's definitely not bad either. The vertical recoil is really good at 65, and the horizontal recoil at 158 is not bad at all for an AK. They're still always going to have a bit of bounce to them, because that's what AKs are like. They do have a bit of bounce. But let's go and check this out in the hideout anyway, and see how it performs. So here we are in the hideout now. This is what the weapon looks like. This is what it looks like when you're looking down one of the scopes, and then obviously you press control and aim to switch to the other scope. And I preferred it in red as well. The scope will change to red, and I definitely preferred it in red. So, you know, that's what it's going to look like when you aim. You can see it's just a +2 magnification, and it's quite nice over distance when you use it though. It looks a lot better and definitely a lot easier to hit your shots. And then obviously up close you've got your PK just for that close quarters combat. Not my favourite, these side mounts, but definitely necessary to have on certain weapons. Anyway, that's enough blabbing. Let's go and make sure it's on fully auto. It is on fully auto. And let's test this weapon out. We're going to just let it fly here. We're going to shoot around the chest, maybe lower chest, because I know this gun is quite bouncy. And just let it fly so you can see exactly the recoil that you're going to get on it without any adjustment whatsoever from the mouse. So you can see it's quite wild, basically. How much shots did we hit around the head there? You can see the first bullet was extremely low in my opinion. That's a really low first bullet. And then a lot of them are popping so high there. And so many were going behind on the wall there as well. So that is a serious recoiled weapon right there. It's going to take a lot of controlling to try and get good shots. Let's try again with a little bit of a controlled recoil. See if we can do a lot better. Let's change it up again. And make sure it's fully auto. There we go. So with a slight bit of control, you can obviously hit a lot of shots over distance. Still very bouncy. If you're trying to hit a moving target, it may be hard to see the target through this scope, which can be quite a pain in the butt. So yeah, another option with a weapon like this, it is running M995. so you can hit it a lot with single fire. I think single fire is definitely an option from distance with AKs. I personally like it. You just hit one bullet at a time. Obviously, if you've got a moving target, you're moving, you're trying to hit them once over, or you know, you can hit it quite fast as well if you need. So there are options with it. A little bit bouncy, so it's going to take good recoil control, and obviously the more you level up, the better your recoil control becomes. Anyway, mine is definitely not full, so that can make a difference in the long run. I'm sure people with a full recoil control can control a weapon like this much better than I can. I'm going to leave this video there anyway. If you liked the video, like the video. Subscribe if you want to see more. Thanks for watching, as always, and take it easy.